Well, let's talk about a few other areas of the training that you do at Dale Carnegie. So you train both Gaishke, multinational companies, and also domestic Japanese companies. What are some of the differences that you see? And again, we're talking about their operations in Japan, but there may be multinational companies operating here versus domestic companies. What kind of differences do you see there?
Yeah, because we're a training company, we tend to be dealing with a lot of people in learning and organizational development or the HR function. Sometimes we get to deal with line managers directly. The biggest difference I can see between Japanese domestic companies and multinationals is the function of HR. In a Japanese domestic company, the function of HR is a type of internal police function. Oh, Chris, you were late for work. Oh, you didn't fill out the form when you took your leave. Now we're going to rotate you around the company to the next stage in your career as a generalist, right? So there's not really the concept of developing people apart from this job rotation through on-the-job training. In foreign multinational companies, they see training as a way to fast-track people and have the succession planning to get the skills in place. The jobs are not so much generalist as more specialist. So you're not going to rotate your way around the company to learn something. You're going to be in functional specialities which need special skills, and therefore you need special training. Often that's technical training, but increasingly it's also soft skills training. So the HR function, the learning and organizational development function, see themselves as a partner to the functional parts of the business. That's the big difference. So when we go and talk to them in the foreign multinationals, they get it. They get it straight away. They say, oh, Dale Carnegie, yeah, we're a global company. We're dealing with Dale Carnegie in some of the 100 countries around the world that you're covering. We know who you are. Yes, we know who Dale Carnegie is. We know the company's formed 105 years ago, been here 54 years. They've got that idea that we are a long-term global player. So the acceptance is much faster. They see what we do works, the decision-making much quicker. With a Japanese company, it tends to be, oh, well, we do on-the-job training. But,
and when they say that, they mean by on-the-job training, you're talking about rotating people through the company,
yes,
so they gain different skills,
yes,
by playing different roles,
yes,
for a year,
yes,
and then a year here and a year there.
Yeah. Well, a couple of years here and there. So what it means is the people delivering the coaching and training are their bosses. Now, if your bosses were really outstanding practitioners and great communicators and great coaches, this would be great. However, what happened with the bosses? They're often not delegating, so they're time poor. They're not great time managers, time poor. They're short-cutting everything. They're stressed out. They're not giving you the time and attention. They're not giving you the real coaching you need. They're just letting you work it out yourself. You know, it's a bit like the Japanese food industry. If you're becoming a chef in Japan, the chefs don't teach the junior chefs anything. You've got to go over and lick the bowl after the chefs created something and try and work out what was that combination of flavours that produced that taste. You know, you've got to watch what they're doing and try and observe and copy that. There's not a lot of instruction. That's a very traditional way of learning things, right? Now, the problem with that is, as I say, as the seniors are coming out of the system and the succession planning kicks in as a problem, they're not going to be there to coach you anyway. And by the way, they're time poor, they're not coaching now, regardless. So how do you learn? And so what you're getting is mediocrity passed on generation after generation after generation. Now, at some stage in the post-war period, that sort of worked. However, we're getting to a point now where, you know, we've sort of got all the, you know, everything out of that. We've got all the juice out of that. There's no more juice left. It's done. And they need to have higher levels of performance, which means the skill levels have to go up on the people who are doing the jobs. That means real training. And Japanese domestic companies are coming to that realization. We've just, you know, we've run everything we can out of it. We can't need more out of that system. We need to introduce better systems, more advanced systems, more effective systems that actually give us a performance outcome. The other problem is, and this is all training, unless the training itself has an element to bring people out of their comfort zone, the training often, no matter how good it is not adopted for the participants in the training and become their new default. What happens is they go to the training, they get downloaded a whole bunch of information. It goes in here, one ear, out the other ear, doesn't stick, and worse than that, when they go back to their workspace or their workstation or whatever, they're not changing what they're doing before. There's no behaviour change, there's no adoption of the learning. So what was the point? So Dale Carnegie found this 100 years ago, that just giving people information doesn't work. It's how you impart the information, how do you get ownership of the information, how do you get them to take that information and adopt it, how do you get them to make their comfort zone larger so they're prepared to take a risk of the new and prepared to make a change for the better. Unless that element is in the training, nothing happens. And this is the problem. Even Japanese companies, even Gaishke companies, foreign multinationals who've got internal training, if the training doesn't have that capacity, they're wasting their time.